We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome back to These Unprecedented Gays, your go-to podcast for all things queer, where we unpack the nuances of LGBTQ plus life in these unprecedented times.
We're actually doing like video podcasting, and they were holding these mics, and the audio quality was just so bad.
They were holding it the whole time?
Yeah, and every time they moved their hand, they were not good mics, obviously, but like, these are guys that were making some money, like they were monetized, and so buy yourself a little treat.
Right. Well, and I feel like holding a mic, like now that we don't have to like be situated and it's like more comfortable, like holding a mic for an hour, I don't know how I would like. I would have fatigue. I would have carpal tunnel syndrome.
We'd have to have a health plan.
We
Yeah, that's not happening.
Can I get is a PPO an option?
You can have a PP.
Ooh, a PP. Oh, oh my.
Well, I'm not Paul,
and I'm Joe still.
and we're these unprecedented gays.
Yeah, because Paul is where? He's on his world journey.
He is in phase one. Phase one is the city that shan't be named.
Is it 3 phases or 2?
3. So Washington is first stop.
When does he go? It goes Washington,
then Atlanta,
and then London,
and then London.
Oh my God, he's going to be like, he'll have lived like 700 lives by the time we see him.
I know. I'm planning on losing 20 pounds or something. I'll come home and be like not recognized.
Oh, but honestly though, like 3 weeks, like a lot can happen in 3 weeks. Yeah. You could like, I don't know, inherit $1 million from winning the lottery or something.
Move in with a Colombian young
named Raul.
And Paul's not listening to this episode, so we can say whatever we want. This will be our test. If he says something.
Let's see.
Yes, I know. Yes. Oh my God. That's so
Raul
funny.
is very nice.
I feel like I was, there's a Raul's taco stand by the office in Encinitas, and they are very slow.
Are they?
Yeah, I went there once for lunch, and I think it's because it's operated by like teenagers, and like I don't know if they know like lunch hours, like get it out quickly, because I ordered like a fish taco and I think like I don't know, like an enchilada or something. It took 30 minutes.
Where you work is a beach town though. They work on a different schedule and timeline.
I get it, but like come on.
Yeah.
It's like there's like, we'll get to it.
But come on, 30 minutes? Everything's pre-made. All you had to do was melt the cheese. The enchilada, a cheese enchilada is not a hard thing to do.
So when you go to places like that, does that make you nervous? Like, to me, like little food stand Mexican makes me nervous.
No. I feel like I don't really, I'm not afraid of it, but like, I know that in the back of my mind it is potentially a thing, but I'm like, I haven't had food poisoning from like a little Mexican stand. And honestly though, like some of the best places that I've had are the little like mom and pop shops, right? Like there's one in Mission Hills, and it's La Posta, I think it's called. It's like a little hut by like the laundromat, and they have the best chorizo breakfast sandwiches or burritos.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know. I'm like, if I get food poisoning, I get food poisoning.
So I mean, we used to go to this place right before you got to the border, going down to TJ, and it was these two women that like made their birria tacos.
Sure.
But like all day long marinating this stuff, and when they ran out, they ran out. But it was phenomenal. But like you would not get any confidence walking in their like ordering area. The restaurant was very
just because it was
bare bones.
Yeah,
kind of walk up to a hole in the wall. But it was phenomenal food.
Yeah.
Those are I feel like that's the most authentic. There's actually a little an Indian place over here in that little shopping center area, Tandoori something, or I don't know what it is. And similar vibes where you walk in and you're like,
but it's delicious.
But it was good.
That's like the Greek place in Hillcrest.
Yes.
On
Alexia,
6th or 4th.
I get lunch there a
lot.
lot.
And it is like just a little bit questionable, but really delicious food.
But I mean, they're not, I feel like those kinds of restaurants, they're not like, hey, we want you to be like in the ambiance and like have this like amazing experience. They're really all about the food,
Yeah.
It's like what you see on...
I think that is part of the ambiance.
Like drives and diners, drive-ins and dives with Guy Fieri. Like some of those places he goes to, they're not like luxury.
Fancy, yeah.
And They do look a little questionable, but like the food is good. So.
And I'll take that. You know, like I don't need to eat in. Some of those are the best takeout places, right?
Yeah, right. And so like Raul's and Encinitas, like it's a good, I think now that I know it's a little longer of a lead time, I'm like, oh, I can basically like go, because it's just like, I don't know, like a block. So like I go probably get my order and then I'll be back in 30 minutes. And then like go back to work. Probably maybe.
This episode's sponsored by Raul's. When a long lunch is okay.
Oh my God. Living a relaxing life.
Man. That stuff drives me crazy though.
Oh my God. Nick is not
I would never eat there.
Well, they took my order quickly. So that, they fulfill that part of your need.
You know, sometimes it's just like you got to give them a chance or two. Sometimes it's just a bad day or something wasn't prepped properly or they lost your order. I mean, we went to our favorite taco place is Crack Taco over near the university.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're usually so fast, but one day they took my order and like waiting for a takeout. And, 8 minutes later, I'm like playing a game on my phone and nothing, and I'm like, no one was behind the counter. Like they were all in the back doing prep.
Did the receipt not print or something?
Somebody had like printed it and put it on, but it fell off, and so it fell off their little to do. It happens, you know.
Well, then they need to get an electronic.
They hopefully gave you a free taco.
Yeah,
we had when I was a pizza maker, pizza delivery guy, whatever. Like when I worked at the pizza place when I was in high school. A pizza bitch, yes. It was the printed things, and like those little holders that like you shove them in, they're not the best. So sometimes they would fall off too. And so like I wouldn't miss the orders because I was really good at my job, but like sometimes the other people would.
Of course.
So have you ever watched, like, did you ever watch The Bear?
Yeah.
No, my mom loves it though.
So The Bear is just one of those true to life restaurant experience kind of things. But if you've ever eaten at some really high end restaurants, they'll take you through the kitchen at the end. Like you'll walk through the kitchen as a tour thing. We did that at French Laundry, for example.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And it's so cool, but you see how they manage all of those tickets and all of the you'll go in there and you'll see all these papers and they're marking things off as they're being done. It was very stressful. But
it was like a part of like dinner that you were like, hey, come and take a look at the kitchen. I guess.
Yeah, at the very end of that kind of 5-star experience, this is very conscious. Like it's how they get you out of your seat. So they like, come on up. We're going to give you a tour of the kitchen now, so you're not hanging out.
Now get the
and
hell
you can
out.
go to the bar and wait for your.
So
bill
they can have a new person on the table.
Yeah, so they're basically turning that table while you tour the kitchen.
Was there a time limit for it?
No, it was very. You did not feel rushed at all. And
well, I always wonder because when we were in London at Dishoom, like there were people walking. And they were on like the intercom walkie-talkies. They're like, table blah, blah, blah got their mains. So they were like somehow communicating to like the front desk people or like the front whatever.
Because they have to estimate like how long your wait's going to be.
Right, but I'm kind of like, I've always wondered, how do they know like how long
that person
it's like when you're done? And it's, I guess, just communication.
Well, and with Dishoom, I don't think they take reservations. Like it is a place that I'm sure gets a big line eventually. So they probably have the right to tell you after a while, it's time to go.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, I don't know, I feel like 2 hours is kind of like, hey, you're good. Like you had your time here.
Bob's your uncle. It's British, so
right.
Bob's your uncle.
I believe it's time for tea now.
If you're still ordering and
I guess
buying stuff, they don't care. But it's that time of you just like sitting at the table and
you're just like when you're like having like communication.
Read the room. It's time to leave.
So in my old days working in restaurants, in fine dining restaurant, like you could never tell people to leave. And we were in DC where people would just like camp out and have a lobbyist meeting, for hours
stuff.
after.
Oh my God.
So you just have to stand around and wait for them.
So they would just be like sitting at the table?
And I mean, sometimes they get another drink or, after dinner brandy or something, but usually not. And it might be an hour and a half, 2 hours after the meal that they'd still be like.
You're like, I don't want them. You see them walking in, you're like, oh, politicians. That's your table.
Unfortunately, like this was in D.C. at the Four Seasons, so everybody was a politician.
But did they tip well at least?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it made up for the fact that they were just lollygagging?
So my working in that restaurant experience was through grad school, but I tried wines I would have never been able to taste.
That's awesome.
Because like a guy ordered a port from 1935. Too. It was a $700 port. And he's like, "Oh, have a taste," because they're just trying to make you.
Are you allowed to do that though?
Yeah. They didn't care. Are you kidding? We took it in the back, and everybody tasted that little tiny glass of port. Like 9 people had a sip of that because how often are you going to try something like that?
Oh, that's a fun memory.
Yeah, I've gotten to try a lot of really cool things from and appreciate, some of what the value is. A lot of it's inflated. Like there's a cognac called Louis XIII. It's I think it's Remy Martin, but it's
I've heard
really
of that. Yeah, Remy Martin.
Well, it costs thousands of dollars, but it's because the bottle is a Baccarat crystal.
Right.
So the liquor inside is not really worth a lot, but and no one's getting to keep that bottle.
No.
Who orders it? But they're like, you can see that on menus now, and it's like $5.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's how much? $4,000 for the bottle?
Yeah, Remy Martin. Yeah, I remember hearing about that Louis, Remy Martin.
That is mostly bottle.
It's pure. So, I mean, it's basically like, hey, you drank the alcohol, and now you have this beautiful
decanter.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous, but
it is pretty,
the bartender was taking that home if it was empty.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Or trying to sell it. Damn.
Yeah, I'm sure.
$4,000.
And then and then you just put in XO, which is like the basic Remy Martin.
Or not even. You just get some random.
No, it tastes like gasoline. No one's gonna know.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, if you think about it, if someone pulled it out and was like, hey, I'm gonna pour it from that canister, and they're like, it's authentic, you wouldn't know. But unless you're like an expert.
When you go in now, like it'll be on restaurants, and for a 2-ounce pour, $500.
That's crazy
for that.
And that's obviously like a sipper, right?
It's a prestige thing, and that's what lobbyists would do. They would buy, let's do this.
Ugh. Hey, at least you got some good tips. Did you ever meet any famous people?
Yeah.
Who did you meet?
Quite a few. Well, there I met Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
Yep.
What was he doing in DC?
He's very small.
Oh. Wait, like
the one height. Yeah, he's not a very tall man.
Interesting.
But he came in. He was like having dinner. I went there to eat. So probably 15 years after I worked there, was living on the West Coast here. And my middle son wanted to go back and check out colleges, so I took him to Sunday brunch there. And while we were at Sunday brunch, Conan O'Brien was a guest. I got to see Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God.
It was kind of cool to see, because I would tell them that famous people would come in.
Who is quite tall.
Yeah, he's very tall and very redheaded.
I feel like he has a very large head.
And a super nice guy.
Yeah.
He was very easygoing. Sometimes people are uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I worked in the Four Seasons in DC, and before that I worked in the Dallas one. And at the time, the Dallas one was right next to a studio where they would film music videos. This was the 80s, so go figure. But we would get bands and performing people come through there. So U2 stayed there. All kinds of culture clubs stayed there.
Really?
While they were filming or working on the lighting and everything for their concerts before they tour, they would build their show in these studios and then take it on the road.
At the Four Seasons?
Well, the Four Seasons was near the studio, so that's where they would stay.
In DC?
No, in Dallas.
Oh, in Texas. Oh, okay.
In Dallas. Keep up. I move faster than Paul. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to keep up.
But your life is so rich of memory and cool things, though. You met Sylvester Stallone, you met Conan O'Brien. I haven't met any fun celebrities.
Yeah, and some of them are very easy where you can say hi, and really, if you treat them like a regular person, most people don't care.
Well, yeah, and I feel like they're just trying to be a little not secretive, but they're just trying to live a normal life, quote unquote normal life.
A regular for us, Ted Kennedy. At the time was
okay.
In the Senate.
Nice.
But he was in probably once a week almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would just want to eavesdrop on what they're talking about.
It's a great spot in DC.
Policy.
We walked by the Four Seasons in Georgetown.
Yeah, right. It's right Pennsylvania, and
it's very what's the right word for it?
It's not an ostentatious building.
Is it unassuming?
It's very modern.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But inside is beautiful. The restaurant, the restaurant is 2-story, and it is like trees going from the lower level all the way up. It's just really like a garden.
Oh, wow.
So anyway.
Well, what have you been up to?
You know,
Paul's gone.
I'm a single guy living in San Diego. No, I'm just kidding.
You're so depressed.
You're a single dog dad right now.
I've been baking and making chocolates.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, I made a lot for Paul's colleagues. And then he goes to DC and he doesn't bring the croissants I made to...
Gasp.
I was like, you obviously don't love me.
Was that the whole reason why you made them?
Yeah. For the
Oh my
team.
God.
But he's bringing them tomorrow. They'll still be okay.
How are you? Oh,
He brought them with him. He didn't bring them from his hotel room.
Oh my God. I thought like he forgot them here.
No. I put them in
God.
a suitcase for him.
I was about to say, we'll happily take them for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I might, I forgot to, right? Like,
So I have like another 6 more frozen, and I can make it any time. So
That's good.
oh, the dough, like you. Oh,
no, they're already pre-rolled and everything. It's
have to
literally
cook
you just set them out on the counter for about 6 hours and then bake them.
That's like the best thing to do at what's the place? Whole Foods has like the little the chocolate croissant or sorry, pain au chocolat.
Yeah.
And they're easy. You just pop them in, and then you have chocolate croissants all you want.
Yeah, it's our friend Christian taught me that. He was like, make a bunch, freeze them. You know, this is the point where you freeze it, and you then like if you're going to do one batch, doing 2 batches is incrementally very easy. Right?
I will say that yours are better than Whole Foods because the chocolate was really good.
Yeah, I get that chocolate
really
from
good.
Belgium, and they're made for croissants. They're little batons.
Oh,
It was
they're so
good.
delicious.
So
I know. I had it this morning as I was like, I have to charge my car. And it's 5:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm going to have a chocolate croissant and a Snickers bar. And it was just the best thing I could eat for my breakfast.
Right. I had a little too much of that though. Like this morning, I had to do. Okay, we're going to go off sugar for a little bit.
What? What do you mean?
I just was eating too much chocolate and sweets and breads and all that.
Too much joy. I get
stuff.
it.
Too much joy. Yeah, and I'm in mourning now because I'm a widow.
Looking for Daddy.
Hi back, sir.
I got to go do something fun this weekend. I got to go see Bernadette Peters at the Amundsen in LA, and she's 76 years old and still kicking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is she short?
She's very short, and the show was called Old Friends, which was basically a celebration night of Stephen Sondheim.
It's like a jukebox of Sondheim.
Yeah, so it was her and Leah Salong were the 2 main kind of headliners. There was also the guy that played Bert from the Mary Poppins on Broadway. He's very talented as well. But yeah, it was like 2.5 hours of Stephen Sondheim music, and I couldn't have been in a more lovely, magical place watching Bernadette Peters sing all of my favorite songs. So that was fun. It was last minute. Steve had an extra ticket.
That's
He's
great.
like, do you want to drive up? I'm like, sure. And he does it a little differently than we've done in the past, which is we drive up, and get a hotel and spend the night. But Steve is always like,
you left the same day and came back.
We'll leave at 3, shows at 6:30, and then we'll drive home after. And he's just a machine, and he does it so often that it's not even a big deal for him. So we did it.
I don't know how he does it, like, because you got home late, right?
About midnight, yeah.
Well, and like Nick didn't come back to bed, and like I've told him multiple times, like yes, you might you don't want to disrupt me, but I'm like, I had no idea that he was alive or dead when I woke up in the middle of the night because he wasn't there, and I'm like, well, maybe he's dead, maybe he's alive, I don't know. And then I roll back and I'm like, you need to come back to bed every time you're home, like.
Well,
don't sleep on the couch.
Sometimes I sleep on the couch.
Yeah, he's like, well, I didn't want to disturb you. I was like, disturb me, because then I'll know that you're not dead.
Yeah, it's funny, like little things that you start in and these kind of happen organically, right? You don't talk about it, but like maybe that's the way you've always done it with someone else too. When Paul travels or when I travel, normally like as soon as you land, you text the person that you landed, right? And Paul didn't do that, and so. I'm already writing him off. I think he's.
Wait, who? Who's this person?
Yeah,
Paul. Who?
I think the driver for Cindy's thing in DC and him are
so
off
weird.
Fair.
Shoot.
I mean, yeah, it's funny that you say that because I feel like for me it's like not like I don't feel unsafe, but it's just like knowing that like even though like we're sleeping and it's like I'm not gonna be like talking to Nick or whatever, but it's just like knowing that he's there. There's like a sense of like security, you know?
Yeah, and it's little things like I do it like as soon as I wake up because of the time zone difference. Like I don't expect him to text me right when he wakes up because that's the middle of the night.
Right,
but,
you're like, good morning.
But when I wake up, I send him a text and then usually responds right away. And like just those little connections make it easier to be a part, you know? But I'm like, oh, I'm going to give you crap about the...
You're like, did your plane land?
Well, I just said, welcome to D.C. And he's like, an hour and a half after. And he's like, yeah, we're in traffic heading to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess you got there.
Oh, I'm good to know that you arrived safely. Your plan said that you landed 48 minutes ago.
And that sounds that sounds so bitchy, but you know, like it's just like I thought... You know, I thought about it multiple times.
I'm not
like,
always great at that myself, though.
No, you're the worst.
Well, and it should be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't say anything to him really. I mean, I'm kidding, but it was like, you know, if I wasn't getting regular contact, I would say something because I kind of I don't need you to talk to me, but I just want to know you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, like everything's going okay.
Well, you care about each other.
I share my location with you, so you can see.
I always forget that. No, because we did it in London, and then it was like I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, and I was like, why is your location on the like in iMessage like it said San Diego, and I was like, why is your location? He's like, I'm sharing it, and I was like, wait, am I sharing my location with you? Like I have nothing to hide, but it's like we never turned it off after London, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But like I think like I did look at one time when I was like, you were on your way. And then I'm like, is he in traffic or something? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it was when you were coming back from, where were you coming back from?
Many places. Utah?
No, I don't remember. But I was like, oh, okay, he's on his way. So I'm like, nice.
I've never had the turn on that. Like I've never turned on except like when you're going to meet someone and you share it for just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But once Paul had, when he got the new car, it came with like 6 months of whatever the app feature was.
Oh, the tracking? Or whatever, GPS.
So I didn't realize, but like he would track where I drove if I took his car. And I wrote him like I stopped at the Kaiser to pick up prescription.
Was he like, I know?
I know. I'm like, oh, you bitch. Tracking me.
That's even crazy.
I started tracking it because I went missing in Vegas my first time, and my friend Ariel was like, you're going to be on Find My Friends. And so it was my friend Ariel, and then my cousin Val, and then I have a couple other friends, and it's like, it's just kind of fun to like check on your little Sims that you're watching.
And I don't, you know, it's fine. If somebody wanted that, like as part of a relationship, I'd have no problem.
But also mine's really boring. Like I'm either at home or now I'm at the office.
Or Vons.
Or, Vons. I do love Vons.
You know, and you could do it because of all the exercise apps and stuff, too. Like, you could see anytime I walked Baxter, like, here's where I walked. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because it maps all that stuff.
I have a friend, actually, that his sister was like, I'm on my way. And he was like, no, you're not. Your location says you're at your apartment, and you still haven't left. Like, you're not on your way. You liar. So it's come to like nip some people in the butt.
Yeah. I can't do that with my daughter because she is notorious for like,
I'm on my way.
We're on our way. I'm like, no, you're not.
It's like you haven't even gotten ready.
Left.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. It's I follow like 6 or 7 friends and like my mom and dad. And yeah, it's just kind of everyone's.
I think my mom and dad track each other, same sort of thing. But like that makes sense. Like my mom is taking public transit, and she's not old, but like she's on public transit through BART in San Francisco, and they're notorious to have some like shenanigans that happen on there. So he's like, I want to make sure that you're safe.
I think that's reasonable, and sometimes having that at your fingertips and being able to check and not maybe interrupt them,
right. It's like a little bit of like, hey, okay, it's like, I think it's when you start obsessing over it that it becomes detrimental.
Well, if you're not in a healthy place in your relationship and you think that person's cheating and you're then, tracking them and what they're doing, I can see that being
right. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No,
I do not have that
energy,
time.
Forget time.
For real. Like
energy.
I barely like now that I am like on like in a physical office again, like I don't have time to like check Instagram or like news or anything like I used to when I was working at home, just because it's like I'm now like the office culture of like, hey, like someone's coming over to ask a question, or like I have a question, so I'm gonna go walk over to somebody. So it's like I'm not on my phone as often as I was, which is good, because it's like definitely like, hey, take a break from like the World Wide Web and like social media. So
I have noticed, so like I started getting into the habit of TikTok because it was mostly baking and...
Did you, wait, the actual TikTok app?
Yeah. So the
Do you have an
TikTok
account?
app. Pardon?
Do you have an account?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you delete it when they banned it?
I didn't delete it.
Finish
but
his story.
No. So anyway, I've just noticed in the last week, the political bullshit coming through TikTok is infinitely worse. Like
Really?
people saying just anything, and most of it's untrue. You know, like apparently we're all going to get a $1,600 tax benefit now. or
Right?
like a
Aren't you
rebate.
excited?
We're
I thought it was
not, though.
5,000.
Well, I've heard all kinds of numbers,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Nonsense.
no, that's not happening.
So wait, it's infiltrated your baking feed?
yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That's
You
not
know,
good.
I'm very segmented. You know, my old Twitter feed was porn. TikTok was not. I mean, TikTok's pretty sanitized, but it was very like, you know, baking and chocolate. And, and
you had a very like distinct theme.
But now the algorithm's all just sending you whatever. And,
Weird.
And it's,
Even if you don't like those things.
and not even political aligned. Like I know, you know, anyone looking at my feeds would know I'm more liberal minded, right? But they're sending me like Trumpublicans talking about how, you know, he's saved trillions of dollars, you know, and
oh my God, the Doge. I love like what was it? They had to backpedal about the like claims that they made because they had like duplicates on how much quote unquote savings they had.
Two of the top 5 were mysteriously disappeared from the list.
And then the biggest one was something that Biden cut last year during Biden's presidency. And it's like, I think that they've maybe saved not billions of dollars. It's like maybe hundreds of millions.
Well, and they're not counting the costs of litigating all of these cases now and undoing all the damage that may have been done. So these are soft numbers. These are not hard numbers.
Oh yeah, no. And that's where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Are you trying to take a break from social media?
I've been trying more and more to just not doom scroll unless it's cat videos or food, like people making food.
Paul sent me one of a dog playing with an otter in a lake, swimming together.
Oh
It's
my
awesome.
God.
They're
Yeah,
the
my
best.
Instagram is very like curated now because I just started liking a bunch of like sports men, like hot men, and it's like
nice.
men. Like my
That-
For
isn't
You
that
is
how it-
men.
isn't that how
no,
it's
now
always
it's
been?
like no. It used to be drag queens. It used to be cycling. It used to be like cute dogs, cooking. Now it's straight up men. The men's this is there. Like
I don't
I got
want that.
it. And my YouTube is like I dabble in still some YouTube political commentary. Not me, but like I feel like I need to be somewhat informed. Like I'll do like a little bit. Like okay, thanks. I'm
Brian
good.
Tyler.
BTK, I love him.
That's Joe's favorite.
I still am surprised. He's straight. He has a girlfriend, which I'm like,
Does that mean that his political views you can't support anymore?
no, I love him, but I'm just like, you're not straight. He's too handsome to be straight.
He's metrosexual.
He also has gay friends, like a lot of gay friends. So like, just come to our dark side.
I don't need him to be on our side. I don't need him to sleep with me. I just like the way he presents his views.
I appreciate him that he is very like pushbacky, if that makes sense, like in things, and he doesn't. What I also like about him is he doesn't have sponsors. Like he has zero.
He won't take
There's no
money
sponsorship. So like legitimate, his whole thing, like however many viewers or whatever followers he has, it's organic, and so
and
no
that's,
sponsors.
That's that Dr. Knock I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
He's an Instagram PhD that talks about health issues in a very kind of fact-checky kind of way. And it's really cool, but he doesn't do sponsorship. He's not monetizing this. This is not his job. You know, he kind of lays all
it's
that
just
out
for the
you.
benefit of like humankind. There was a woman, she's also similar sort of thing. I think she has a YouTube channel or something, but same sort of thing where she's like a biomedical researcher or whatever, and she like debunks all the things. And I'm like, this needs to be more widely utilized.
So one of the things I watched today on Instagram that made me pause a little bit and think was older Jewish man got on and he's like, people are asking me, when am I going to leave? and he then proceeds to tell the story that, he's a Holocaust survivor. And in their house growing up, they always had like gold in the walls and money stashed here and there, and everything in a place where you could pick up and leave at any moment. And he said the philosophy, he's like, things are bad, and we're not in the plan to leave yet, but have a backup plan.
Like leave the country?
Yeah.
Oh,
this was really interesting, perspective. But he's like, you don't have to leave, but start thinking about a backup plan. Because he said, he quoted some famous director from Hollywood, and he said, during Germany in the 30s, pessimists, or the optimists, were in concentration camps and died. The pessimists are now living in L.A. and Argentina.
I'm a pessimist. Listen, you talk to Nick, I'm ready to leave the country.
The people who left, were so. It was just a really very sobering kind of idea that people who lived through this kind of thing before are thinking there's enough shit going on.
Well, I feel like we haven't seen mass exodus yet. Like that, I'm not like that out of touch with the world, but I feel like if I were, if people were leaving, I'd be like, that's interesting. Like, what's going on? Like, and then I'd be like, maybe it's time to go.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
We could rent a villa somewhere, right? Like, right?
Certo.
What's that?
Certo.
See.
Live on a compound somewhere?
A compound?
Like buy a big piece of land with lots of different houses. We'll all live on there.
I mean,
large tracts.
Oh my God, can we be neighbors? Yeah, and then you can bake
a compound. Yes.
Well, I would like those little mountain towns in Italy where you can get like a house for $50, and then you have to invest a whole bunch of money to upgrade it. But then you could live in a villa in Italy. I think that would be
maybe that's our backup plan.
That's my retirement.
Is that your
now
backup
that I
plan?
don't have, I won't have Social Security.
Oh, what do you mean? What Social Security?
Man.
That's not getting cut.
Oh, just like shout out to our government people who will tell you that they did not cut Medicare and did not cut any of the programs. But what they did was they passed a budget resolution that says the agencies have to lower their budgets by these extreme amounts.
Yeah, it's up to like $2.7 trillion.
Right.
Yeah.
The only possible way to do that is cutting all of those programs.
Yeah.
But they're going to be able to fall back and say, well, we never cut those.
Yep.
I
know, and they'll spend it. You know what?
This is what keeps me up at night.
Yeah. That's where when I get to that point, I'm like, I need to step back from politics for a minute and not consume it.
So what's giving you life, Joe? Because it's time for mouth to mouth.
Mouth to mouth resuscitation.
So I know. I confirmed at work. I know that I don't know what episode it was, but like the circus animals was my giving me life, but it's also cookie themed. Biscoff cookies. So they're just the right amount of sweet. Like you get the sleeve or whatever, because they're sold at Sprouts, and so they're just like the rectangle ones. And I think they've given me life before, but like I love them.
That's why I'm laughing, because this is the second time they've given you life.
They give me life pretty consistently, but the Biscoff cookies are giving me life, and I'm loving that. Like you can just buy them in bulk, and if you're just wanting a sweet little treat, you get a Biscoff, and then you call it a day.
You know where they sell those? Costco.
We haven't
seen massive box of them.
Okay, we need
individually
next time we
wrapped.
go. Oh, because there's just like a sleeve of like 30 or something from from Sprouts.
I've used them for recipes, like places where you can use like graham cracker crust. You can make a Biscoff crust.
Oh my God, like a Biscoff crust for like a cheesecake.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I got a blackberry cheesecake in the works, so I'll make you a Biscoff blackberry cheesecake. That sounds good too.
Oh my God.
Biscoff blackberry cheesecake.
Oh, I'm salivating. Maybe that'll give me life. Okay. What's giving you life?
I'm watching a couple of good shows. I was watching one about gay Mormons that was fun, and when Paul's gone, I get to watch all the stuff that he doesn't want to watch.
The obscure cool things, the artistic stuff.
But we had gone over to our friend's house to watch RuPaul, the new season of RuPaul. They had a VPN. You can't stream it in the U.S., and so the only way to watch it is through a VPN. And we had just canceled our VPN. We had it for like 2 years and just weren't really using it for about 8 or 9 months. And we watched the first episode. It was good. So we wanted to see more. So okay, well, let's just do like a 30-day VPN trial.
Oh, wait. So you don't have to pay?
Well, we paid, but I mean, if I choose not to renew it, I can get all that back.
Oh, okay.
They'll refund it within 30 days.
Yeah.
But so far, it's been really good, and we watched like 5 episodes of the season.
Okay.
So,
good. What are you thinking?
So I think there are a lot of younger queens.
Yes.
A lot of people who have very delusional views of their own talent level. Mm-hmm. I do think there's some really talented people, and there's some great looks, and obviously people have budget, and they're putting a lot of money into their looks.
Yep.
So there's some really good moments, but then you get somebody that's the black one that's very heavily padded, the black woman.
Oh, Corey King.
I just don't think that person has the depth of talent compared to other people in there.
I don't like Corey King,
but their perspective on themselves.
She is delusional.
Yeah, that's.
She's like, I'm the best. I'm like, your makeup sucks. She was there for when I see those kinds of queens, it's like I know that they are there for the production. They are good personalities for television.
Yes,
they're not drag queens. And what I have found really interesting about the new seasons of Drag Race is the queens on this show grew up watching RuPaul's Drag Race, so that's how they learned drag. And that's what their drag is. They don't know what drag is outside of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
So they don't have the club and you got to do it on a Wednesday night and pull it from the bootstraps or whatever and figure it all out that way. It's legit Instagram queens or look queens, and it's an interesting
and entitled queens. There's a lot of entitled queens. I do love Anya Nerve.
Yes, me too.
Oh my God, my favorite.
I love Anya, and who else did I like? I think
Star, the
Sam Star.
Sam Star, I thought is pretty good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like Susie too. She's grown on me,
and I think she's taking notes. She's evolving.
Very
as the episodes progress. So,
and also Jules. I think Jules something. Yes, I like her. But
so there's plenty to watch.
Yes.
I thought the Asian one that we just saw, that she went home in a mattress.
She, again, case of delusion.
Yeah. And then the one who I guess RuPaul nominated her.
Hormona Lisa went at the book tour. Yeah, I didn't like her, don't worry.
There's total entitlement there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So.
Have I watched any of this with you?
No, you refused to.
Okay, just wondering.
Nick's like, why do none of them look familiar?
Well, because we watched the whatever, not the pilot, the season premiere.
Right.
He's like, man, but I've been kind of fast forwarding through a lot of it, because I'm okay, I want to see the looks, but when they're having the conversations in the workroom or whatever, I'm fast forward. Okay, so I'll skip the middle part where it's just talking smack about each other.
Workroom nonsense. Right,
and I'm okay. Here's the challenge. Here's the rehearsal. Give me the finished thing. So I save about 40 minutes each episode.
Well, and our friends who had done the VPN thing, I saw them last night because I dropped them off croissants, and they said, well, now that Paul's gone, you can just watch the rest. I'm like, I'm not going to watch it without him because it's also something he really enjoys.
Oh, yeah.
So it's part of our routine.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good
It's
season.
we do them usually on a weekend morning. We'll watch an episode.
Nice.
But, we're going to have a special thing. When I saw Nick and Joe yesterday, I mentioned, I don't know why we were on the topic. We were talking about
super random.
We were talking about the things Paul's been doing, the puzzle rooms.
Oh, escape rooms.
Yeah. And how doing those was something that, we were talking about different people doing those with different friends, and would it be fun? And I mentioned that my one of my favorite things from memories from middle school was a teacher, my English teacher, Mrs. Cipolaro, but she would do minute mysteries, which they'd just take one day a week, they would review this, they'd read a short thing and you had to solve the mystery of that little short story. And it made you think, and but it was like a highlight for me because I love solving puzzles. So we thought we'd do a couple minute mysteries for you on the episode today.
And we'll see how well we do.
We'll just see how well we do. We have not looked at the answers for these.
Yes, full disclosure, we are all doing this live together with all of you.
Pull these up so I don't have to.
So don't yell at your radio, audio. Don't yell at your phone. Don't yell at wherever the listening is coming from if you know the answers.
Yeah, but if you do play along, we're going to give you some. So these are in two different formats. So. The one set, we're going to read you a short passage, and if you can't solve it right away, there's some clues that we'll be able to give you that might point you in the right direction.
Yeah, these are more forgiving. Yes.
And then and then at the end, it will read you the answer.
Go for it, Andy. You can start with yours.
Okay. My first one is called "Take It or Leave It."
Ooh.
A burglar robs many homes throughout the day. At the last house, he breaks in through the back door. This house has more valuables than any of the other houses, and nothing is there to stop him from taking them. He doesn't take anything. How come?
So
I have my. I'll let you say yours.
Wait, he's a robber, and there's no valuables, or there are valuables? Sorry,
there's more valuables in there than in any other.
And he didn't take anything?
I bet that he lost the key to his own house, and he broke into his own house. That's my guess.
Oh, I don't guess that.
And that is the answer.
Yes!
Really? He broke in through the back door, and of course that's where all his stash was.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave. Sweet.
So you give us one. Nick's doesn't have clue. You didn't even need a clue for that.
I don't have clues on mine, but they're about the same length here. Okay. Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice all live in the same house. Mine are up on the screen but I can't pull it up because I don't know the answer.
Oh, okay.
Bob and Carol go out to a movie, and when they return, Alice is laying dead on the floor in a puddle of water and glass. It is obvious that Ted killed her, but Ted is not prosecuted or severely punished.
Is that the whole story?
Yeah. Why is it
Bob and Ted and Carol and Alice live in the same house. Bob and Carol go out to a movie. When they return, Alice is lying dead on the floor.
I know the answer to this.
Wait, it's obvious that Ted killed her, but Ted is not prosecuted or severely punished.
So why isn't Ted prosecuted or severely punished?
Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
So Ted was there with her.
Bob and Carol and
only
Ted
Bob
and
and Carol
they all
were
live
at
in the same
movies,
house.
and only Bob and Carol were at the movies, so we can assume Ted was there. And the glass and water, usually when there's a puddle of water, it usually means that there was ice.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking, was there something? Was there a glass with something in it that when the ice melted, they couldn't. It was obvious that Ted killed her.
How do I turn this off?
But it doesn't say blood.
Oh, okay. Think more deeply about who Bob, Carol, Ted, and Alice could be.
Did Ted kill her in self-defense or something?
Ted and Alice may not be human.
Doggies.
Oh, is it plants? Are they plants?
Are you guys ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Alice is a goldfish. Ted is a cat. So Alice is lying dead on the floor in a puddle of water.
Oh my God.
And Ted killed her, but it wasn't.
These are hard.
That one was a hard one. Okay, I'm going to look at these if I do in the future. Okay, what's yours next one, Andy?
Okay. A man is looking at a clock that displays the correct time. but he doesn't know what time it is. Why not?
Is the clock broken?
No.
Oh. Is he blind?
No. He can see.
Oh, okay.
Are the numbers Roman numerals and he doesn't know Roman numerals?
Nope.
He's looking at the clock, but he can't read it? Is that the whole thing?
So my first clue to you is the man can see and tell time perfectly well.
See and tell time.
He's looking at a clock?
My second clue to you is the clock is normal and in plain sight.
He doesn't know what time it is, but he can tell time. He must be blind.
No,
Nope.
he isn't.
Oh.
He's looking at the clock, and it's correct. The clock
And it's
time
telling
is
the
correct.
correct time, but he does not know what time it is.
Oh.
Is he in a dream?
Nope. This what I love about this one is it makes your brain think differently, right?
He doesn't know what time it is. Because it's
But you can see something. Is it? Is it like in oh my god, like in Iceland where it's like dark all day or light all day?
Nope. It's in plain sight and normal. So we used to
Do you have
say
another clue?
nope.
Damn.
Yeah. There's one clue, but it's going to give it away.
Okay.
Think about the number of clocks in the room.
he doesn't know what time it is.
Well, I'm looking at.
There are multiple clocks in the room, and they're all at different times. So one of them has the right time, but he doesn't know what time it is because he doesn't know which one has
Is
the
the right
time.
one?
Oh.
So is it like his fridge clock or his like oven clock? Because I'm looking at your clock to see like the microwave and then the oven.
No, I think it's just like they're like in multiple time zones. He must be working at like somewhere where there's...
Well, he's in a room with a bunch of clocks on the
Yeah.
wall, and they're all at different times. But there's one that's right, and he doesn't know which one it is. So he
That's a
doesn't
good
know
one.
which time
That's
it
a good one.
I'm gonna get a bunch of clocks now. Just put it all over the room.
This is a good one. This is a little bit of like some of these are more like riddles.
Okay. Is it like a plot twist?
A man pushes his car in front of a hotel and says, "I'm broke and I'm out." What happened?
is. Say it again.
A man pushes his car in front of a hotel and says, "I'm broke and I'm out." What happened?
He pushes his car,
In front
so
of a
the
hotel.
car's not working.
Yeah.
Was he like a traveling, like
No.
back in the day, like a snake oil seller?
Nope.
I'm broke and I'm out.
I'm broke and I'm out. This one's kind of hard. I'll give you the answer. He's playing Monopoly. He pushes the car. in front of
Oh
the
my
hotel.
gosh, that's crazy.
That one was a deep cut. That was hard.
I wouldn't have got that no matter what.
Here's another one. A body is found in the middle of a field with a ring on his finger. How did he die?
A body is found in the middle of a field with a ring on his finger.
Is he clothed?
He's most likely clothed, yes. I would hope so.
How did he die? Heart attack?
Nope, not a heart attack.
Is the ring
the middle of the
Is the
field?
ring a living thing?
No,
Like a wedding ring?
it's not a wedding ring.
A ring?
Is it a bite?
It's not a bike. But he was doing an activity.
How do you know?
Or he, because I'm making my own clues up from the answer.
Oh. He was in the middle of a field with a ring on his finger. Did he get struck by lightning during a lightning storm because he had a phone in his hand because it was ringing and it was like an attracted to the lightning?
Did he?
You know, that would be a great answer, actually, but it's not.
Did he fall? Like, was he in a balloon and the balloon fell?
Very close. So we're going to give it to you that one. The ring is a ripcord, but the parachute didn't open.
Oh, that's
That was really close.
good.
That
yeah.
was close, Andy. I like this one. Ready? Okay. A woman shoots her husband. Then she holds him underwater for over 5 minutes. Finally, she hangs him. But 5 minutes later, they both go out together and enjoy a wonderful dinner together. How can this be?
Oh, I know it.
shoots her husband, holds him underwater, and then hangs him. But then they go out to dinner after 5 minutes.
So she's a photographer.
It's a dark room.
She shot his picture, processed the
Developed
photo,
it,
and then
yeah.
hung
That's
it.
it. You guys got it. Yeah,
that
so
was
was a
a
photographer.
That's the kind I love to do.
Yeah,
that was great.
These are the good. I love
Yeah.
that one.
All right, I'll do my next one. This will be my last one. I'm going to this one is called The Poison Murder Case.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to the theater now, Bob Cooley told Professor Fortney at their club. I wish you'd spend an evening with Uncle John. He's been worried lately. Upon reaching the Cooley home an hour later, Fortney found the butler in an agitated state. After ordering coffee, Cooley locked himself in the library an hour ago, sir. When I rapped on the door, he did not answer. The two men forced the lock and found John Cooley on the floor, an empty strychnine bottle at his side. The terrace door was open. After careful examination, Fortney returned home a few hours later. Bob Cooley entered his living room. Thought I'd stop by on my way home. Don't you think Uncle John looks worried? Your uncle, Bob, is dead. Strychnine. Your butler and I found him lying on the floor, but were too late to save him. How horrible, Fortney. Why is the library door locked, do you suppose? That puzzled me. Has your butler been with you long? For years, replied Bob, the head buried in his hands. Well, you're a wealthy man now. What is it, Uncle John? Uncle John meant more to me than all the money in the world. And Fortney said, I wish I could believe you. You'll need better alibi than those, pointing to the ticket stubs Bob was nervously fingering. How had Cooley aroused the professor's suspicions?
Wait, okay, hold on. What's the butler's name?
The butler's, he doesn't have a name.
Oh, he's just called Butler?
Yeah.
So Cooley, how did he arouse, how did he become suspicious?
After ordering coffee, Cooley locked himself in the library an hour ago. Mm-hmm. When he rapped on the door, it didn't answer. Two men forced the door open and was on the floor. Strychnine, the terrace door was open.
Oh, that's the uncle.
When he sees the uncle, Bob, he says, your uncle Bob is dead. Strychnine. The butler and I found him lying on the floor, but were too late to save him. How horrible, Fortney said. Why was the library door locked, do you suppose? That puzzles me. Has your butler been with you long? So the answer's right there.
Why was the door closed or door locked?
Has your butler, is he the butler?
Nope.
Oh. It's always the word games.
No, it's not a word game. It's assuming facts that.
Well, because we're assuming.
So Fortney told him that the door was locked. He didn't tell him what room.
Oh.
And he said, well, why was the library door locked?
Oh, so the fact that he knew which door it was, like the library.
Oh, how'd you know the library was locked?
Yeah.
Oh, that would arouse suspicion in me.
There you go.
Do you have another one there?
I've got two more to finalize
The set.
the set here. There is a man walking down the road dressed entirely in black. There are no lights on anywhere and no moon. A car with no lights comes down the road and manages to avoid the man. How is this possible?
It's daytime.
That's the answer.
Oh, I'm like,
Because you right away assume it's not.
Yeah.
I was assuming it was dark.
All right, here's my last one. You walk into a room with only one match. You must light a lantern, a gas stove, the pilot light of a water heater, and a fire in a fireplace. What do you light first?
Wait, hold on. So you
walk into the room with only one match. You must light a lantern, a gas stove, the pilot light of a water heater, and a fire in a fireplace. So what do you light first? This one's dumb.
I feel like I'm gonna say like you turn on the light.
Oh, this is totally dumb because
like
I know
you turn
the
on the light
answer.
switch.
What you light first is the match.
Yes.
Oh.
This is why middle school kids love this.
I love these so much.
And like turn the light on.
Yeah.
The match. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I'm sitting there going, okay, well, if we light the fire, maybe you could take a stick and go and light the next thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you light the match.
You light the
first.
match
my
first.
God. Yeah,
Duh.
that went over my head. Oh Lord.
Oh, these were fun.
They were fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this very special episode.
We miss you, Paul. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, and in the meantime, be sexy, San Diego. My new calling card.
With Raul.
Ay, caramba.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to These Unprecedented Gays. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and join us next time as we continue exploring the ever-changing landscape of queer life. Until then, stay proud, stay fierce, and stay unprecedented.